Ever feel like your charts are gaslighting you? Like you should have nailed the trade, but somehow missed the setup? That's kind of been my story for months. Then I found TrendSpider, a trading platform that claims that it can fix all of that. So I ran it through real trades, real strategies, and what I found might seriously change how you look at your charts. So stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to break down the features that surprised me most and what you need to watch out for. But before I started testing this stock screening tool myself, I did what most usually do when deciding on any trading tool. I hunted down every user review I could find, especially the complaints, because if something's gonna break, that's usually where you'll see it first, in people's negative experiences and the reviews. And there's this TrendSpider review from one trader that really jumped out at me. He basically said that he liked the platform, loved the tools, but felt that TrendSpider's pricing was a bit outrageous. He compared it to TradingView and argued it was almost double for what looked like pretty similar features, except for the pattern recognition. Now, honestly, I get that. If you're a budget trader, TrendSpider Stock Market Scanner is gonna sting at first glance, but in my experience, the pricing on these advanced backtesting and stock research tools can always feel steep if you compare it to free or basic charting alternative platforms. But I continued digging through the reviews and the user feedback to see if pricing was really an issue overall with this stock market research tool. But guess what? That's not the case. In fact, to many traders, TrendSpider is gold despite what it costs. I mean, they're all getting real value for their money and they have positive feedback about it. One trader mentioned that TrendSpider Scanner was pricey, but also that he felt it was genuinely innovative and gave him ways to look out charts that he'd never even considered before. He said the support team was friendly and actually answered his questions, which can be a big deal since some stock scanners out there basically ghost you and just leave you to your own devices. Another trader highlighted that if you take the time to learn TrendSpider's features, it just becomes an absolute powerhouse over time once you actually integrate that with your skill set. He used their backtesting, calculators, scanners, even hooked up an automated bot to remove the emotional side of trading and just to automate more of his process. I can totally relate to that because when you're making those high stake decisions, I think emotion is one of those things that could be your worst enemy. That's where tools like TrendSpider really start to pay for themselves. So yeah, while for some the pricing might sting, the ratings overall are solid, hovering around 4.5 out of 5 stars on average. And a lot of traders seem to think it's worth every penny once you get comfortable with the workflow of the TrendSpider's tools and everything it offers. But I want to point out what actually makes TrendSpider stand out. Because if you're the kind of trader who wants to cut through the chart clutter and to stop second guessing your entries, the features of TrendSpider are the whole reason you'd even consider it. So let me break down what impressed me the most. First up, the TrendSpider Strategy Tester. I'm telling you, this thing saves hours of mental backflips. Instead of painfully and extensively guessing how your strategy might have played out, you can literally see it tested across historical data right on the chart. I ran a couple of my own swing setups through it, and it showed exactly where I would have entered and exited with precise trade stats. Unlike something like NinjaTrader, which basically expects you to script your backtest logic or wrestle with a more complicated builder, TrendSpider's strategy tester feels more visual and intuitive. You don't have to be a programmer to get actionable and visible results, which is huge for someone who just wants to, validate an idea without an entire engineering degree. Then there's the AI strategies. Now, the idea of an AI telling me when a trade might hit profit or stop out sounds kind of sketchy at first. I'll admit that it's not, the thing I might listen to above all else. But once I just tried designing a simple risk-reward strategy in TrendSpider, it clicked. It's not trying to predict the future, it's stacking the probabilities. For example, it might suggest that over the next 5 candles, the chances of hitting your target is statistically stronger than hitting your stop. That tiny shift in mindset, that tiny amount of info, thinking in probabilities, it honestly helped me trade more rationally, even when I didn't entirely depend on this tool. Another TrendSpider automated trading feature that blew my mind was the multi-timeframe analysis. If you've ever stared at a single chart only to miss the bigger picture, you know how deadly that can be. TrendSpider lets you overlay multiple timeframes on the same chart so you can watch price action, indicators, patterns all lined up in one place. I can plot trend lines from the daily chart right on top of my 1 hour chart, which gives so much more confidence in levels. Now, rainbow charts deserves a special shout out. These were a surprise for me. I'm used to standard candles and bars, right? But they don't show volume the way Raindrop does. So Raindrop combines volume and price in one visualization, so you see exactly where volume clusters during a candle, not just below it. So that means you're seeing where the actual trading happened, not just what the close price was. It feels like you're adding a third dimension to your chart, basically. While most competitors might make you do like a separate volume overlay, so that difference can hide important details. Raindrops basically merge it all together and cut out that extra noise. Then there's this feature called the assistant. At first, when I got into TrendSpider trading bot, I thought like, who needs an assistant in a stock analysis and trading platform? But after spending a few weeks going through the nested menus, I actually changed my tune. So the assistant in TrendSpider is this little command bar where you can literally type what you want to do and it takes you straight there. So want to launch TrendSpider backtesting tool? Just type it. Pull up a strategy tester, you can type it in. It cuts so much of the friction out of the interface if you're not sure where everything is. If you've ever tried finding stuff buried like 3 different clicks deep in NinjaTrader's interface, for example, you'll appreciate this. TrendSpider really nailed the ease of use factor here. Overall, the way TrendSpider automates trend lines, simplifies multi-time frame analysis, gives you one-click testing for strategies, and even visualizes price action with raindrops, it makes it feel tailor-made for traders who want a fast, powerful platform without writing extra code. I'm all for putting in the reps to get good at trading, but fighting with your software shouldn't be a part of that grind. But no stock investing tool is perfect, and TrendSpider isn't either. If there's one thing I'd warn you about, it's the sheer firepower of all of these tools. When I first opened it up, it felt overwhelming to me. There were charts, overlays, alerts, backtest results, all on one screen. It's like having a spaceship's cockpit for what could be a simple road trip. But honestly, that's not necessarily a bad problem to have. I'd rather take the time to get familiar with a tool that might transform my trading through practice and learning than settle for something watered down that was just immediately like intuitive. But once I got through that learning curve, TrendSpider made me wonder how I even traded without it. So, is TrendSpider legit? Of course, yes. But when it comes to what it costs, TrendSpider isn't the cheapest stock scanner on the market. If you're a hobbyist or only trade a few times a year, you might think it's pricey compared to simpler tools. But for serious traders, I'd say it's reasonably priced for what you're getting. Think about how much one bad trade can cost you, usually way more than TrendSpider's subscription cost itself. And they do run promos and discounts from time to time too. So I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check the latest pricing plan and see what fits your budget. And the available promos they're offering, I'll keep that updated whenever a new promo pops up. So definitely check it out there. So, all right, if you're tired of second guessing your setups and you want a smarter, faster way to analyze trades, TrendSpider might be exactly what you need. It's not the cheapest, but if you're a data-driven trader who is tired of guessing, you'll probably wonder why you didn't check it out sooner. So check the link in the description of this video to get started with our special discount and coupon.